My new book, Pillars for Life, A Guide to Spiritual Ethics and Practice, is now out and available for you to read and purchase. You can check out our website, willowhealing.org, to find a link, or you can find it on Amazon. We look forward to getting your feedback, and if you love it, please leave a review and share with your friends. Now it's time for the show. Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Catherine Cristani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and today I am here with Divya Dhawan, and she is a national board certified functional health practitioner and autoimmune expert who turned her biggest health challenge into her greatest mission. After being diagnosed with Sjogren's disease and told by doctors that she'd be on medications for life, Divya made a powerful decision. She chose not to accept that reality. Instead, she took her health into her own hands and used the power of food, lifestyle, and mind-body healing to put her autoimmune condition into remission. That was over 11 years ago, and she's been thriving ever since. Today, Divya helps women around the world reclaim their health, vitality, and confidence by teaching them how to activate the healing intelligence within their own bodies. Her work is rooted in the belief that we are not broken. We're just disconnected from what our bodies truly need to heal. Get ready for an empowering conversation about taking radical responsibility, breaking free from limiting diagnosis, and discovering what's truly possible when you become the leader of your own health journey. So a big welcome to the show, Divya.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Catherine. It's such a pleasure to talk to you today.
So the first thing which I warned you I was going to ask you about is what is actually Sjogren's disease? I've never heard of that before. So I feel a lot of people in our audience would want to know what that actually is to understand what you overcame to be here today.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is, in spite of not being a rare disease anymore, it is still a disease which many people don't know about. And so it is basically an autoimmune disorder. So the body starts attacking its own tissues like in any other autoimmune disorder. But the typical thing about Sjogren's is that in this, the body is attacking the salivary glands, the glands in the eyes, which are the wet glands too, and then also in the nose, as well as sometimes the throat also gets very constricted because of the mucus lining being affected. So basically, all the wet glands in the body are affected. For women, it can also be vagina. And then it also does accompany a lot of other issues like joint pains or fibromyalgia or other stuff. And it is a systemic disorder, which, if we do not address on time, it can affect all the organs of the body one by one, or whichever fashion, but it does affect. It is a systemic disorder.
Yeah. And wow, that would have been so, I almost feel terrifying to get that diagnosis and to learn about what it was doing to your body and also be to told, like, oh, that's all we can do now.
Yeah. It was absolutely terrifying to know that this is what I have. And also that even after the diagnosis, I did not have any clear path for recovery. All I was told was that this is all you can do and we cannot cure you, and we can only manage your symptoms from here on with different medications. And then when I read about it, it was not just just the dry eyes or dry mouth. It was systemic. Sjogren's is systemic, so it is going to affect all my organs eventually. So I'll be just living a sick, tired, and a desperate life for my whole life. So I definitely did not want that. And it was a very, very scary moment in my life for sure.
Yeah, definitely. No, I don't think anyone wants that. But
Yeah.
then you overcame that and decided to take healing into your own hands. And I love this. So do you want to share a bit about your journey to coming back to this vibrant, beautiful person in front of me now?
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. So this was that moment when I was told that there's nothing we can do about it and you can only manage your symptoms. But I was suffering with this excruciating pain and stiffness, deep down into my bones, all my muscles. There was my eyes were swollen, my mouth was dry, all of this going on. And on the other hand, I was being told that there's nothing we can do about it. And I was like, no, and my gut told me that this is not what I need to accept as an answer for my life. So I started doing a lot of research on my own, and then I do have a background of Ayurveda, because not a background of Ayurveda in terms of like practicing Ayurveda, but knowing what Ayurveda is. For your listeners who don't know what Ayurveda is a medicine system from India, which is more than 5,000, 6,000 years old. And it really focuses on bringing the body back into balance. So, from that point of view, and I have grown up in India, so I knew that system. And after knowing that system, I knew that there's something wrong that is inside my body that is not being addressed. And when I start addressing that, it will definitely start help to heal me, if not completely, to some degree. And so I did a lot of research, and the first thing that I hit upon was what is the Ayurvedic perspective on autoimmune disorders. And what I found was, lo and behold, what functional medicine these days says is that everything starts from the gut. So that is exactly what I understood, and I started changing my lifestyle, my diet, adding a lot of mind body practices. And yeah, that helped me actually understand how versatile and how strong our body is, and that it can heal when we give it the right conditions. Because I was able to ditch all the medications actually in 1 year and be completely symptom free.
Wow. How inspiring. And, you know, it's so important. I feel like that point that you addressed about, it all starts with the gut and it comes back to your gut health. And
Yeah.
it's funny because a lot of the time the medications we get put on causes more imbalance in the gut, which doesn't help as well.
100%. 100%. So, for example, small medication which we all take without even thinking about it, which is like the omeprazole kind of category, the Nexium that is over the counter here in the US. That medication is given to people to reduce acid reflux. Now, actually, acid reflux happens because of a presence of some kind of infection. Now that I am a functional practitioner, I know that. And that infection is most likely H. pylori or Clostridium difficile. And that is never addressed. But we are given this medication which actually drops down the acid production in our gut lining. So it is affecting the cells which are producing that acid in the stomach. And the stomach is reduced even more. So in the long term, what happens is all kinds of gut imbalances start happening, because this is a downstream effect that happens when the acid is low. The body is now prone to more infections. We are not able to digest the food properly because then all the breakdown happens, the churning and the breakdown of the food after our mouth happens in the stomach, and we need the acid for that. So that does not happen. So there's a whole list of problems that can start from there. And actually, if not many listeners know about it, I think they'll know about it today. That Nexium and the producers of this medication have also been sued in the United States for knowing that this medication, when taken long term, can cause stomach cancer, but they never did anything about it.
Yeah, and I guess that's the drama that's attached to a lot of these medications, is people don't realize the implications and what it has to do long term on our bodies. And we've been so conditioned through the Western model that we just treat the symptom. Oh, I've got a headache, let's take a tablet, or we call it Panadol or paracetamol, to get rid of the headache, rather than going, hang on, I've got a headache. What's that trying to tell me? Do I need more water? Do I need some more salt? Is there something going on with my neck? And it's not actually listening to the body. It's rather masking what's happening, because you're just taking away the pain and not listening to something deeper.
100%, yes. And headache can happen because of so many different reasons, right? It could be lack of sleep. It could be, you're being dehydrated, electrolytes being less, magnesium being low, so many other things, stress. But we only slap medications on it, which is the pill for an ill culture that we all have fallen into and started believing into, and not listening to what our body is really trying to tell us.
100%. And I so agree with that, because I even tell my clients, even coaching clients, and I say to them, your body has so much wisdom. You actually just need to start questioning what it is. And, we're so blessed to have all this access to information these days. You don't have to flounge around and go, what does it mean if, I've got a headache? Or what does it mean if I'm not for me, it was, my journey kind of was, I couldn't process meat. My body rejected meat. But at a deeper level, I knew I was meant to have meat because my iron kept dropping off really low, and my blood type's like O negative, so it needs that meat, right? So I was like, what's going on here? And as I looked into it, from years of chronic stress, I pretty much depleted my stomach acid to nothing, and it was through building that back up that I could have meat again. But if I wasn't curious and I didn't look further, I would just be like, oh yeah, I'm just vegetarian. I'll
Yeah.
just supplement with the
Yeah.
terrible iron supplements, which I hated taking.
Absolutely. See, there's the power of understanding what our body has to tell us and really tapping into it and giving it what it needs, for sure.
Exactly. So from all your journey and your health, how have you now transformed that into helping and empowering women with their own health?
Yeah. So when I was 1 or 2 years into this remission, I was still sort of working with my doctor to understand whether I'm really in remission or it was just a, one-off fluke that happened and then it will come back. But then even after 3 years, 4 years, I still had that. So this is the thing with me. I did have the antibodies, which is the positive test, but I was completely symptom free even after 4 years, 5 years. And today it's like 12 years now. So that actually also inspired me because there was this theme that was happening with me. There were so many people who came to me telling me that they have an autoimmune disorder and they cannot cure it. And that's what they've been told. And every time someone told me that, knowing what I've done with myself, I was like, although I did not say it out loud to them, I was like, no, wait a minute. There is a way out. You've been told the wrong thing. But then I did not have the courage to just tell it on their face that no, you can heal. So I decided to make it sort of my mission as a coach to now help women who think that this is their life to suffer with these kind of ailments to actually understand that healing is 100% possible. So what I've created is I've created a method which I call the Sjogren's reset method, shine with Sjogren's, in which I take all my clients through a multi-layered process in which we work on the diet, we work on the rest, we work on the exercise, we work on the stress, and then we work on the supplementation. And here is the interesting part. When we work on the supplementation, that is not like throwing random supplements into their lives, which will not make sense because that is of no use. That's going to cause them harm. So what we do is that we test what is going on inside of their bodies. What are the reasons that these imbalances are happening? Because body is intelligent. It just does not start misbehaving, because I've seen this in the online space. Many people call misbehaving immune system. And I'm always thinking like, no, well, it's not like a child which is misbehaving. It is intelligent and it is giving you signs and telling you that something is wrong and you need to take care of it. It is us who do not understand. I really focus on gut health when it comes to Sjogren's, although I am trained in understanding the hormones as well. So we focus with Sjogren's. I've seen that most people have huge problems with their gut health. And then there are some gut toxins also, which need to be addressed. So we do gut health panel, we do a gut toxin panel, and then we do mineral balancing panel, which is the hair tissue mineral analysis test, basically. And then we create these protocols for them, which are customized to not just the supplements, but also customized from the level of diet and rest and exercise and the stress management as well. And we work on that for 4 months together. And I've seen huge results with that because that is exactly what we need to actually start improving and giving the body what, all that it needs in terms of like minerals, in terms of removing the gut health issues, removing the gut toxins, and the body knows how to heal. After that, body will start rebounding.
Yeah, and it's such a powerful reminder because, when you give the body what it needs, it goes, oh, thank goodness, this is what I was looking for. And,
Yes.
oh, yeah, let's go back because the natural setting that a lot of people don't realize is that our body is designed to self-heal, but sometimes it just needs the supplements and the rebalancing in order to get back to that state that it can start to recover again.
Yeah, absolutely. And most people, we do not realize. But I think the reason also is that, unfortunately, all the indigenous medicine systems around the world, it's not just Ayurveda, it's whether it's Chinese medicine, whether it's some other medication, whether it's from the Europe, from the South America, all of them have been systemically broken down and we have forgotten all those systems today. And that is why this conditioning has been possible, that we cannot heal ourselves. Whereas in those traditional ancient indigenous systems, they all knew that the body can heal, right? So that is the most amazing part that almost has been hidden from all of us.
Yes, I 100% agree.
Mhm.
And, it's amazing clients I meet and they'll come in and for me, I do a lot of energetic work. So it'll be like tapping into the root cause of things, whether it's like a childhood trauma or something like that. And I had a 12-year-old client the other week And he came in and he's had this leg pain since he was about 2. And I didn't know any of this. So the mum didn't tell me any of this, but it came up. I said, "What happened when you were 2? You hurt yourself." And he said, "There was a red ball." And I said, "No, there wasn't." And he said, "No, there was a metal bar. Something happened with a metal bar." And I said, "And why did you have to hide that you were hurt?" So it all came back to that. And then his mum went to me later. And then once we shifted that memory and shifted that root thing, his leg all of a sudden was pain-free. And I was like, wow, because the body just needed to let go of that trauma that was associated with the leg. So it's different to what you do because it's rebalancing at that gut level. But at the same time, then his mum said to me, he actually fell in the shower over a metal bar at 2 and hurt his hip, which then led to all these long-term issues. So, the body holds these memories, which is really powerful. And even, when you, like you were talking about hormones and things like that, because I imagine cortisol plays a big fun part in everything that you do.
Yeah, it does.
And and then when you bring in these supplements and things, often it's because the body needs that because it's so depleted, and it's actually looking at that underlying cause from that physical point of view so that the body can restore itself.
Yeah, totally amazing. Yes. So first off, yes, I would like to say that I do believe that energetic healing can do amazing things for us because, the next frontier is definitely going to be energy healing in on the earth. But going back to the supplements, I think that there's so many things that the body is not able to process and absorb properly when it is in that distressed state when the people, when you have Sjogren's or any other kind of autoimmune disorders. For example, your body is not able to absorb the proteins that you put in your body. So if you're eating enough protein and still feeling weak and brain fogged and all that, it's because your body is not able to absorb all these proteins. So we need to supplement the enzymes so that your body can now start digesting it properly. So just an example. That's where the supplements play a huge role and many people say that what are the functional practitioners doing? They're just slapping supplements on you instead of the medications. So it's totally useless, but they don't give the big picture of why this is happening. And then these supplements are not lifelong. This is just till the point where body can start healing. So, and before knowing all this, when I started my healing journey, I started with the supplement, which is Boswellia, which is a very, very powerful Ayurvedic herb, which heals the gut, which heals the joints, removes the inflammation from the body. And if I hadn't taken it, I wouldn't be where I am today because it did aid in doing what it needed to do to help me heal. And then now I don't take it because now I don't need it. So I just take it on as needed basis. And so supplements are not lifelong, but they definitely have a place when you're starting your healing journey.
Yeah, for me, it was magnesium. I didn't know I had a magnesium deficiency, quite a significant one. And I found this really brilliant naturopath, and I walked into him and he goes, "What brings you here today?" And I said, "I'm pretty sure I've got a magnesium deficiency." And he said, "Oh, we'll see," and he uses kinesthesiology. And then he finished his testing and he goes, "You are the most magnesium deficient person that's walked into my office." And I was like, "Oh," and within a week of having that supplement, nearly all my symptoms dissipated, but I had to stay on it for longer than I probably would have because I was still in that chronic stress situation. So it was depleting my magnesium really quickly. But then when I stepped out of that situation and didn't have that anymore, I didn't need it. Exactly like you said. It was my body found a way to rebalance it. It wasn't dependent on that anymore, but I needed it to that point where I actually removed the original stressor that was causing me to have the magnesium in the first place.
Yeah, totally get it because magnesium is one of those minerals in the body which we all need in excessive amounts but are not able to absorb. And then our food supply is totally broken, so it does not have that supply for us. So, supplementation there, that's why we need it because our food supply, our water supply, all of that is so polluted and not as nutrient dense as it used to be. And magnesium is, if you are stressed, you need magnesium. It's as simple as that.
I definitely did.
Yeah, for sure. I can get it.
And it's such an important point you bring up too, because a lot of people don't realize how unnourishing our food is
Yeah.
because of like how compromised the soil is and even how long a lot of people don't realize how long it takes from when the farmer picks it to
Yeah.
it getting to the grocery store and then you buying it, and by then all the really amazing nutrients have gone from it because
Mhm.
it's been refrigerated and everything else. And it's interesting when you grow your own food and, you pick it fresh that day to eat it at that moment, you can taste the difference and your
Oh,
body's like, oh, what's this strawberry?
yes.
What-
Yes, I can vouch for that. Recently moved to Dubai, but before this, I was in Houston. And there we had our own little garden in the backyard. And we had like a big tree of guavas. This was pink guavas, which are very not available everywhere, but very sweet and nice. And I have had guavas all my life. But that guava, which I picked from that tree, it was heavenly. Like the taste was so good, you could taste it. And even if you kept that guava for 2 days, on the second day, it would not taste as good as it would when you pick it and eat it in the same day. So I think that's what again, going back to Ayurveda, um, Ayurveda has this philosophy that when you pick food, the moment you pick the food, it is dead. There's something called the life force energy, which Chinese medicine also uses the concept. And then Ayurveda definitely has that concept too. And that life force energy is actually called prana. So prana is not there in that food as soon as you take it out. So the longer you keep it, that is dead food that you're eating. And it has nothing, like no nutrition as, the days go by. And if you're getting it from different part of the world and it's traveling like a month for you, sitting on the shelf, definitely dead food, empty calories, no nutrition in there that your body can absorb.
Yeah, and it's so true. I was at the markets on the weekend with my son, and there was an organic food grower there, and he just picked the food like that
Mm.
morning. And I just picked up this pumpkin because I was like going to make some pumpkin soup, and I
Mhm.
picked it up, and I was like, oh, the energy, like you could just feel this beautiful, like you said, the prana through
Mhm.
the food because it was still so fresh. And I even got my son to hold it and he's like, oh my gosh, that feels different. I said, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Compared to the one that we normally get. And it's
Mhm.
been goodness knows how long. So, I guess it's when you start to look into all these things and have to understand that, okay, this is why sometimes we need that supplements. And sometimes this is why we need those supplements. And this is why sometimes we need that extra help to support us when the food doesn't do exactly what we need it to do and allow us to be where we need to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Makes so much sense. Excuse me.
No, you're okay. And as we start to finish our time together, Divya, I asked the guests that come on the show if you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
If I could change something, I would definitely change this, that more people should know that healing is, in fact, everyone should know that healing is possible and it is their right. And, there shouldn't be so many secrets around healing in the world at all. So everything that can heal us should be out there, common knowledge. Everyone should be able to have access to it.
Yes, I
Mhm.
100% agree. And I know you have a beautiful offering that you want to share with people. So do you want to share how people can find you and come and connect with you and work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. So I have Sjogren's gut health cheat sheet because gut health is such an important, crucial, plays such an important, crucial role, not just in everyone's health, but also especially with people who have Sjogren's. So I have this beautiful resource that I've created for my people. So that is something that people can get. I think you could probably add that link to your show notes so that people can get it. And
I
then
definitely will.
people can reach out to me on Instagram. My handle is Sjogren's Queen. I'm also present on Facebook. Divya Dhawan is my personal page, but you can also connect with me at my professional page, which is Sjogren's Solution. And then similarly on LinkedIn, I am personal page is Divya Dhawan and the professional page is Sjogren's Solution. And I'm present in all these places. You can DM me if you'd like. You could also book a call. I give a complimentary Sjogren's Roadmap call for people who are interested in finding out what's going on with them and what they can do, so that they at least have a clear idea of what can be done, and not sit there in despair and not do anything about it. So I definitely can do that for all your listeners who are interested in getting that done.
Beautiful. And I'll make sure to include all those details in the show notes as well. And
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to compliment you on turning your journey of Sjogren's disease into you are now the queen of it. I love that so
Oh,
much.
thank you. Thank you. Yes. So, talking of energetics, that is something of an energetic feeling that I had a couple of months ago that I should be calling myself Sjogren's queen. And yeah, there it is, Sjogren's queen.
Yeah, you definitely turn that pain into purpose. I love it.
Yes. Yeah, I did. And I think everyone, the more people rise and more the people awaken and more people understand that healing is so much more possible and accessible to all of us, the world is going to be such a beautiful place.
I agree 100%, Divya. Well, I'll make sure to include all those details in the show notes so everyone can connect with you. And thank you so much for sharing your journey and for becoming the Sjogren's queen so that you can empower other people through their autoimmune disorders and also through other health issues, so especially women, so that they can actually reclaim their health, which is such an important thing to remember and get your power back in that area.
Thank you so much. I love talking about this. And every time I talk, my face glows up because I just love talking about this and telling everyone that healing is possible and it is something that it is in our hands and in our body actually. So thank you so much for having me. I love talking with you, Catherine.
Thank you, Divya, and thank you for sharing your light in the world. Thank you. All right. Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.